Hello, fellow Days of Our Lives fans. If you've been riding this roller coaster with us for years like I have, you know that Salem has a way of throwing the absolute worst at its most beloved characters right when life seems to be offering them a sliver of happiness. And right now, the spotlight is burning brightly and painfully on Chanel Dupree DiMera. What started as a season filled with new beginnings, love, and the promise of a growing family has twisted into one of the most gut-wrenching storylines we've seen in recent memory. Today, we're diving deep into Chanel's terrifying cancer diagnosis, the impossible decisions she's facing, and the medical emergency that has all of us holding our breath for her and her unborn child. For those who've followed Chanel's journey since her arrival in Salem, this feels like the ultimate test of everything she's fought for. Chanel has always been a force fiery, ambitious, resilient, and deeply loving. From her complicated family dynamics with Paulina to her passionate, on-again, off-again romance with Johnny DiMera, she's endured more than her fair share of heartbreak. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared viewers for the moment she received that devastating diagnosis, breast cancer while pregnant. The emotional weight of this storyline hit like a ton of bricks during her recent counseling session. Picture this: Chanel sitting in that sterile doctor's office, the kind of room where the walls feel like they're closing in, her hands instinctively cradling the gentle swell of her belly. The counselor, a compassionate but straightforward professional who's clearly seen too many impossible cases, laid out the stark realities. Treatment options, chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, each one carrying risks not just to Chanel, but to the tiny life growing inside her. The fear in Chanel's eyes was palpable. You could almost hear the internal war raging within her, the mother's instinct screaming to protect her baby at all costs, versus the survivor's need to fight for her own future. "I can't lose this baby," Chanel whispered in one of the most raw moments we've witnessed. Her voice cracked, tears streaming down her face as she recounted the conversation to Johnny later. The counselor had been clear: starting aggressive treatment immediately could harm the fetus, potentially leading to developmental issues or worse. But waiting meant the cancer could spread, putting Chanel's own life in jeopardy. It's the kind of Sophie's choice no woman should ever have to make, and the writers have done an incredible job of making us feel every agonizing second of it. After hours of soul-searching, tear-filled nights, and long talks with her mother, Paulina, who as always is a powerhouse of fierce love and barely contained panic, Chanel made her decision. She would postpone treatment until after the baby is born. It's a choice that speaks volumes about her character: selfless, determined, and willing to risk everything for the child she already loves, with every fiber of her being. In true soap opera fashion, this decision didn't come easily. We saw flashbacks to her own childhood, memories of Paulina's sacrifices, and quiet moments where Chanel spoke softly to her belly, promising her little one that she would do whatever it takes to bring them safely into the world. But of course, Johnny DiMera wasn't about to let her face this alone or make what he sees as a fatal mistake without a fight. Johnny, ever the passionate and sometimes impulsive DiMera heir, has been a whirlwind of emotion. One minute, he's holding Chanel tenderly, stroking her hair and whispering words of love. The next, he's pacing the hospital corridors, arguing with doctors and desperately trying to find any alternative that would let them start treatment now. "We can't wait, Chanel." "I can't lose you," he pleaded in a scene that had fans reaching for tissues. Their chemistry has always been electric, but this storyline has taken it to new depths. We see Johnny's fear of becoming a single father, his guilt over past mistakes in their relationship, and his fierce determination to save the woman he loves. In extended conversations that stretched across multiple episodes, Johnny laid out every counter-argument. He spoke of clinical trials that might offer safer options for pregnant patients. He begged her to consider the baby's future without a mother if the cancer progresses too far. "This baby needs you alive more than anything," he said, his voice breaking in a performance that reminds us why we fell for Johnny in the first place. Yet Chanel remained steadfast. "I won't put our child at risk," she insisted, her hand protectively over her belly. "I've made my choice, Johnny. Please, just support me in this." The tension between them is thick enough to cut with a knife. Longtime viewers know that Johnny and Chanel have weathered storms before: infidelity rumors, family interference, even supernatural elements that only Salem could conjure, but this feels different. This is life and death. Their apartment, once a place of laughter and stolen kisses, has become a battlefield of whispered arguments and heavy silences. Paulina tries to mediate. E.J. DiMera offers his own brand of calculating advice because, of course, the DiMera patriarch has opinions, and friends like Talia and Rafe weigh in with mixed perspectives. The show has brilliantly used these supporting characters to explore every angle of this moral dilemma. And just when we thought things couldn't get more dramatic, the complications arrived. In what has to be one of the most harrowing sequences in recent days' history, Chanel began experiencing excruciating pain. It started subtly, a sharp twinge during a quiet evening at home, but quickly escalated. We watched in horror as she doubled over, gasping, her face contorted in agony. "Johnny, it hurts! The baby!" she cried out, collapsing onto the floor. The camera work was masterful, lingering on her writhing form, sweat beading on her forehead, her hands clutching desperately at her abdomen. Johnny's panic was visceral as he scooped her up, racing her to the hospital while shouting for help. The emergency room scenes that followed were pure soap opera gold. Monitors beeping erratically, doctors barking orders, nurses rushing with IVs and ultrasound equipment. Chanel's pain was so intense she could barely speak, her body twisting in the hospital bed as waves of torment washed over her. The fear that the cancer might be progressing rapidly, or that the pregnancy itself was now in jeopardy, hung heavy in the air. Doctors mentioned possible preterm labor, complications from the tumor pressing on vital areas, and the terrifying possibility of having to make emergency decisions about delivery versus treatment. As Chanel lay there, hooked up to machines, her face pale and etched with suffering, Johnny stood by her side, gripping her hand so tightly his knuckles turned white. "Stay with me, baby." "Please, God, stay with me," he murmured, tears openly falling. The episode ended on a brutal cliffhanger, Chanel being rushed into emergency surgery as alarms blared, leaving viewers wondering if Johnny might lose not just his wife, but their unborn child as well. This storyline has sparked intense discussions among the Days of Our Lives faithful. Many praise the show for tackling such a sensitive topic with depth and realism. Breast cancer during pregnancy is a nightmare no one wants to face, yet it happens in real life. Others worry about the emotional toll on the characters and audience alike. Will Chanel survive this? Will the baby make it? And if they both pull through, how will this ordeal change their relationship forever? I've been watching Days for decades, and storylines like this are what keep us coming back. They remind us that even in a world of secret twins, demonic possessions, and corporate takeovers, the most powerful drama comes from human vulnerability. Chanel's strength in the face of this diagnosis, her willingness to sacrifice for her child, and Johnny's desperate fight to save his family have us emotionally invested like never before. Looking ahead, there are so many possibilities. Perhaps a medical miracle emerges, a treatment option that balances both lives. Maybe external forces, like a DiMera business rival or a long-lost relative with medical expertise, enter the fray. Or, in classic Salem fashion, a shocking revelation about the cancer's origins could tie back to past plotlines involving the hospital or family secrets. Whatever happens, one thing is certain, Chanel DiMera's battle is far from over. Her journey from confident businesswoman and loving partner to a mother fighting for two lives has been portrayed with such raw honesty that it's impossible not to root for her. The love between her and Johnny, tested by fire, may emerge stronger or shatter completely under the strain. Fans, what do you think? Will Chanel's decision to wait prove to be the right one, or will tragedy strike? Drop your theories in the comments. I'll be back with more updates as this heartbreaking saga unfolds. In the meantime, hug your loved ones a little tighter. Salem has taught us time and again that life is precious and tomorrow is never guaranteed. As the credits rolled on that latest episode, many of us sat in stunned silence, hearts pounding. Chanel's story isn't just another medical drama arc, it's a profound exploration of motherhood, love, sacrifice, and the terrifying unknowns of illness. The writers have layered in so many nuances: the cultural expectations around motherhood for a woman like Chanel, the class differences between the Duprees and DiMeras influencing medical access, and the psychological toll on a young couple just starting their life together. Let's talk more about that counseling session. because it deserves its own deep dive. The scene opened with soft lighting, almost too gentle for the bombshell about to drop. Chanel, dressed in comfortable maternity clothes that still somehow made her look radiant despite her fear, listened intently as the counselor explained staging, survival rates, and fetal risks. Each statistic landed like a blow. We saw her mind racing, flashes of her wedding to Johnny, dreams of holding their baby, nightmares of an empty crib. The dialogue was pitch perfect, avoiding preachiness while educating viewers on real medical dilemmas. Johnny's attempts to change her mind have been equally compelling. In one late-night bedroom scene, he pulled out research articles printed from the internet, his voice urgent. There are cases where women have gone through chemo during pregnancy and had healthy babies. We can't just give up. Chanel, exhausted and emotional, pushed back with equal fire. This is my body, Johnny. Our baby. I won't gamble with their life based on maybe. The argument ended in tears and a desperate embrace, highlighting how love persists even in disagreement. The pain sequence elevated everything. The way Chanel's body betrayed her muscles, seizing, breath coming in short gasps, felt authentic and terrifying. Sound design amplified her moans and Johnny's frantic calls to 911. At the hospital, the chaos was masterfully directed. Paulina bursting through doors demanding answers, EJ making calls to specialists, the quiet moment where Chanel, between contractions of pain, looked at Johnny and said, "Promise me, if it comes down to me or the baby, choose the baby." That line alone has generated endless fan debate. Is it noble or tragic? What would any of us do in that position? Expanding further, this arc has allowed for beautiful supporting performances. Paulina's guilt, wondering if stress from family issues contributed, adds layers. Abe's steady support contrasts with the DiMera family's more dramatic interventions. Even smaller characters like nurses and doctors feel fully realized, offering moments of humanity amid the crisis. As we speculate on upcoming episodes, the medical emergency could lead to an early delivery, forcing Chanel to face treatment while grappling with a premature infant in the NICU. Or perhaps a twist reveals the cancer is more aggressive than thought, pushing Johnny to consider drastic measures like seeking experimental treatments abroad. Whatever the path, Days of Our Lives is delivering Emmy-worthy material here. Chanel's resilience, Johnny's devotion, and the high stakes for their family have us glued to our screens. This isn't just a storyline, it's a testament to the power of daytime drama to explore real human struggles with heart and honesty. We'll continue following every twist. For now, our hearts are with Chanel as she fights through unimaginable pain, holding on to hope for herself and her child. Salem's residents and its viewers have never needed a miracle more.